And I loved my son, and he loved me so much. I know his death was not to destroy me. We'll all experience some profound loss. I'm sure you all have. I hope it's not your children. I hope it's more of a more timely loss, you know. We're supposed to not outlive our children. You live an insulated life. You assume you're in charge. You assume you know what's going on. You have your hopes and your plans and all of that. And I was a plan person. You know, I had plans laid out. Danny's death just stopped me right in my track. So much of what I knew theoretically all of a sudden had to become real. I had to take everything that I had learned in my life, everything that had been presented to me, and utilize it, or I would not have survived. Not everyone has a son who fell off a mountain. Some have to go through real, true agony to honor yourself and to try to stay in a state that you can begin to receive. If you're completely in a state of chaos, what can you receive? I agonized and tortured myself through the nights before I actually saw him. In the back of my mind, I kept saying, they have someone else's son. They don't have my Danny. He's going to call. When I saw Danny's body, the denial went very quickly. I had him. He was gone. I knew he was gone. I saw him. I touched him. He was cold and he was gone. I would wake up in states of terror trying to catch him. I wanted to catch him. I wanted to hold him. I wanted to pick him up. So the lows were trying to think I was still in charge, and we're not in charge. We as human beings are not in charge. When Danny died, the day he died, or the day they told me he died, I picked up the tarot and I just said, "Where is my son?" And I held the tarot in my hand, and out fell the universe. And I went, oh, of course, that's where my son is, in the universe, as I am. We're just on different planes. If someone had shot and killed Danny, I would have felt anger. Danny was climbing a mountain that he loved. You know, he was climbing, doing what he loved, and he simply died. So who would I be angry with? If you were to think of your children, and I think of the mothers who have lived through the gang shootings or the suicides or the drug overdoses or this war, those women, those people, I'm sure, go through a huge stage of grief. I was lifted beyond that because I actually went to the site where he died. I experienced that there was nothing to be angry for. I just knew if I looked at the universe and the way my child could have died, what could I have asked for more? I didn't see him suffer. He didn't die of cancers. He lived his life and died. Because all the guilts come up too, you know. Oh, if I had only done this, if I had done that, if I had given him this, if he had, you know, all that goes through. Those are things that lead to agony. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe in, well, what if? I mean, yeah, sure, if we had lived a completely different life, maybe he hadn't been the adventurer, maybe he would have been some cubicle. You know, that wouldn't have been who Danny was. It's not who I am. It's not who we were. And so he lived a life of adventure. So, you know, the lows came in lots of things. The lows came in the Christmas box that I opened up. And everything he had ever made as a child was in the Christmas box. I hated the Christmas. I hated Christmas. I hated the Christmas tree. I hated the box. I said I would never do it again. And yet, I have 2 daughters and I have 3 grandsons, and I am their mother and their grandmother. Of course I do it. I do it every year. I just took Danny's things out and put them away so that I don't have to go through that every time I open up the Christmas box. So it's time. It's a dimension of time. You know, people say, "Oh, time heals," and it's so cheap. It's such a cliche, you know. And you think of them, yeah, and you just go, yep, but time does heal, and you do grow if you're willing to truly accept and let go of the fact that you are in control. I suffered that fall. I mean, I was not sitting here like everything was good. I went to work every day. I would come home, I'd cry all the way home. I'd get here, Erin was still a young girl coming home, and I'd say, okay, that's it, we're not going to cry tonight. You know, I needed something normal. Now I just think back to the joys of the times we spent together. I don't, you know, telling this is painful for me, but it's not the agony it used to be. And I believe in cycles, and when Danny was gone 7 years, that cycle was very clear to me that Danny was gone. This is not, I'm not going to cease, I'm going to continue, and that I have a responsibility to Danny to make something of quality from his death. I became very involved in yoga and breathing and patterns, and know that there is a material world and a non-material world. I am presently, as we are all, in a material world. Danny is in a non-material world. I mean, I didn't know what it was taking me to, and I don't know what it will ultimately end up as, but it's given me all of the opportunities to grow, to take the richness of all of my belief systems and live it. There were waves similar to a tsunami, you know. You go, if you look at the wave, sometimes Danny trickles across my feet, and I go, hi. And it's pleasant. It's all that things of putting your feet in the Caribbean water, you know. And other times, there are waves that knock me over. Knock me over. They don't come that way anymore. Now I've almost learned to surf them. I feel them coming. I know they're coming. This is intense. This is intense. I have to go outside when this is over, get grounded. I take a little rescue remedy, you know, I take myself and I go back and I go, you got a lot ahead of you today, there's a lot going on. And that's what the Buddhists gave me. The acceptance, the strength to know it was impermanent. My suffering is impermanent. It will end. It has ended in many ways. I will end. And what am I going to do with what was given to me? I was given a child who died just before he was 32. What am I going to do with that? I've got to do something to make some meaning out of it for someone else who also loses one at 4, loses one at 12, loses one at 20. If I could share anything with another mother, would be that. Is that, yes, you're totally shattered. Yes, you're cracked wide open. And what are you going to do? I believe if you can truly accept that your life does have meaning and all the events of your life have meaning, that even the horrific becomes an ability to grow.